Okay, let's try to make this paper pattern for this cardigan coat denim jacket thing that I'm trying to make. Now, I've never made a clothing pattern design before. So I've got these 4 pieces of paper. I'll trace out the individual parts and then I'll put it together on paper. My thoughts while I was going through this project, I had made stuff out of fabric before. I've made a couple stuffed animals, but never a jacket. So I had some understanding of how basic sewing patterns are put together and how to geometrically break stuff down. But doing that and also trying to think about how clothing is done, how it should be fit to my dimensions were all things that I was pretty unaware of. And so what I was doing here was just trying to put together a basic pattern, and then I bought some muslin, which is like a cheaper cotton fabric, which I could, it's not as expensive as other fabrics, so if I were to mess up or try to get something in my basic proportions, then I could do this first and see, okay, is there anything horrendously wrong with the design I'm trying to make? And then in the future, when I buy the actual denim fabric that I want to make this out of, then I can get the proportions closer to being right. Now, I'm sure there's a better methodology and way to approach this than what I'm currently doing, but since I was like, oh, I just want to commit myself to this process and not really reference anything and just throw myself into it, I just want to see what happens. I can definitely say throughout this process, I learned a lot that the clothing that we wear on an everyday basis takes an incredible amount of time and effort to create. I mean, that's very obvious, I feel. But going through the process of making something in and of itself and then thinking about all the entire fashion industry just gives me so much more perspective on how everything is done, in the sense that here I'm just making a very geometrically simple jacket, but thinking about all the complexity and design that goes into it. I don't have a fashion background, so dabbling into this world and thinking about the broader implications of what this means in terms of the fashion industry, how things are created, how tailoring is done, I think that gives me a lot more curiosity as to how designers kind of think about clothing and how they want that to reflect themselves. Oh my. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. Let's see how it looks, because this is gonna be real interesting. No sleeves, inside out, size comparison test. Hopefully these sloppy little stitches don't tear. Well, I should close that. Not well. Okay. Okay. Looking in the mirror. The holes for the sleeves are a little small. I'm noticing that immediately. The fit is definitely oversized. Okay, I feel like I got the back part. This bottom part is not bad. Like, there's definitely a lot of clearance for my pockets. So that's not terrible. This right here, this little gap, I think that can probably be fixed with a little like overlap fabric sort of action. Okay. You know what? Honestly, things could be worse. I've made things that are worse than this. Like, let's just, we don't need to expose myself there. But I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, I've made some changes to my design and I've added a little bit more. A sleeve, and then whatever this thing is. I realized that in making this, my proportions are a little off. This part is too short, and then the sleeve right here is also too small. So I guess eyeballing it is not the way to go. So now I'm gonna redo my patterns and then draw it on a bigger piece of paper. Like so. Okay, so I think I'm close as possible to my final design of what I'll try to figure out. This is front panel, back panel, the new sides. I've decided to go with more of like a tapered, maybe, I don't want to say hourglass. Hourglass just sounds a little weird. But this sort of design, lengthen this. This is longer. My original design here, sleeves are a little too wide if I unfold them. And then this part, see, I think my biggest concern, I pinched this together here, which inspired me to kind of have this sort of like tapered sort of look. But my issue is that if I were to do something like that, I'm not sure how the corners of the jacket will lift as I'm lifting my arms. But there's only one way to really find out, and I'm too lazy to create another one of these. So I'm just gonna go ahead and find the person, make it tomorrow, hopefully not have it be super expensive. But I'm sure it'll turn out great. I'm sure it'll turn out great. And so yeah, we'll just see. So there's no point of thinking about doing it if you're not doing it, I think. Anyways. Okay, I'm at Yongle Fabric Market right now. They're doing construction right here. But the second floor is fabric and the third floor is tailors. So it's time to get my supplies. I just bought the fabric, but I didn't record it because I was too excited. But I still have to buy other stuff, so yeah. Denim store. I'm trying to find a person who can make my epic designs. But this is scary because I don't want to talk to them. Oh, this looks promising. They look like they've made goods before. Oh, 不好意思，你可以做衣服吗？那个图案可以。什么图案？对。你要什么图案？我自己啊。你做物件呀，做啥呀？你是要创啥物用的？哦，台语我不知道。你要做什么用途？就是夹克。夹克。对对对。找这家就好了。这家吗？哦，好好，谢谢。它有这个三角呢，不是这样弄。哦。我就衣服，这边扣掉啊，加个这边加个安尼三角安尼。有人是这样做啦，这影片啊，我看我不知道你拿走可以拿走，对，可以拿走哈，然后就这样子，用这块布牛仔嘛，用内里，这条前面呢，对，前面是无领子吗？无领子，没有领子，你不是台湾人哈？不是，你香港？不是，是美国人。是美国人嘛？你讲国语讲得很好啊。谢谢。然后这个是怎样？这是怎么弄？可以加这个，就在。这里吗？可以啊。好，我看能不能因为你瘦瘦的，你这样是可以。不要太紧。对，不要太紧，你这样是可以，但是你这样子，它有这边会有一个角。你这样是不是一个凹？那你这样是不是比较有一个凹？哦，对不对？这样是一个凹。这是对的吗？对，这样才对。为什么？所以这为什么是错的？因为你这边因为你是这种袖子，你不是袖子，不是这样的袖子，所以你如果说这边是肩膀，对不对？你袖子都这样的话，
OK， 可是你这样子穿起来就有一个凹，没有顺直，有没有？
就是有点奇怪。
对，就是轻摇型。衣服做出来的话，比如说我们这样子，它会做起来会是安呢，一个安呢，对啊，一个凹，对不对？
Adding a sleeve.
不加钱，
Oh shit.
不客气。
The way I've been doing the sleeve adding was wrong, and so now she's showing me the right way to do it.
上来给你。
好，谢谢。好，拜拜。
拜拜。
That's crazy. I did it. Yippee! Okay, I've done it. They said come back. Well, I guess I'm going to my conference. So I'll pick it up November 3rd, 4th-ish. Yeah, it should be fun. I guess the project's done, and we'll see what this first iteration looks like. Low-key, it's kind of expensive, but the fact that I guess I did all this designing and I'm requesting a custom build makes sense. Wow. Okay, my initial impressions when they busted it out, I was like, wow. They took whatever my vision was and then made it so much, so much better than what I thought I was gonna be able to create. And so this thing is so like minimalist. It's so like, so sleek. Like look at this thing. Like wow. My initial drawings, I initially thought the collar was gonna like pop outwards like a robe. And then they turned it inside, which definitely was the right choice. And so it just fits over like this, it's like coat. I will say, I think as a new fabric, the denim is kind of like stiff, but I think that's fine because it'll soften up over time. Other thoughts and impressions, the back kind of like bleeds over, but maybe that's because I wear a hoodie over this. Okay, it's kind of hard to see because it's dark, but this is so cool. For a thing that I designed, it's now in front of my face. Yeah, and there's so many little like, details of how they did like, I don't know. I don't really know how to do sewing terminology, but like there's the seam, these little parts of the edges, and how they all folded it all together with this other part. I have a friend, Helen, who makes clothes. Helen, I know you don't watch this. Well, maybe if you do in the future. I'm making a reference, because I mean, look at how they did all this stuff, like all the taper for the broader sleeves into this part. Wow, what an incredible job. I'm very pleased. Thank you.